What's going on, guys? T2RX6 here, back for another third-party review, and today we're taking a look at the Ace Toys Cliffjumper, and this is one that, you know, he's a toy. He's got a lot of flaws, but there's things that are kind of endearing about him too, to be completely honest. Got a lot of diecast, which actually causes probably most of the problems. And I've never heard this company up until they started releasing this. Yeah, so this is Cliffjumper. And I just want to point out that my biggest problem with this robot mode, okay, this is a little bit thick. I do think that the X-Transbots one looks a little better with the fake chest on here, but it's not horrible. It probably could have been fixed if they made his abdomen area maybe a little bit more beefy. But the big problem to me is the arms. The arms really should have been like maybe, you know, like down to here. They just feel a little bit small. A lot of my complaints though kind of went away, and yours may or may not. When I put him next to Bumblebee, again, it's a little bit big, but somehow when he's next to Bumblebee, he ends up looking pretty okay on a shelf. I'm not sure this is definitely the Cliffjumper I need so far, but you know, he's not as bad as I was expecting him to be. So you can see he is the proper Porsche 935, I think it is. Porsche, I'm sorry. And he's kind of, not 100%, but kind of a knockoff of MP Bumblebee. There's shared engineering for a lot of pieces here, and he does things that are different too. So that's, I don't know. I don't know where you want to place him on the knockoff scale. That's all I can say. The feet are all die-cast. They have these panels here, which I had to file down one of them to actually get it to fit in here because it would just keep popping out of here. But this is definitely a problem that'll pop out of that piece there a lot. And it's pretty heavy. He's not going to be holding his leg for any kicks. But in terms of, you know, posing him on a shelf doing something, the articulation is, it's usable. It's not the best articulation. You're certainly not going to get amazing poses out of him, but you can use it. He does have an ankle tilt, a little bit of a rocker. I feel like there's more to it. Yeah, there's more to it, but it's hard to get it to stay with this door piece here. I really wish they had come up with something to fold this in, and then like some kind of thing to just hold the door behind the foot. In fact, I wonder, can I don't, you can see the door is MP Bumblebee. I mean, you got the back piece and then it folds in and it clips in here, except MP Bumblebee has a big gap here for this to peg into, and it's plastic into plastic. This is die cast into plastic. And you can see, this is the side I actually had to slot out a little bit more. But it comes in, and then you have this teeny tiny little tab that goes in. If they had made that bigger, it would have worked better. I don't know, maybe I have to slot it out some more on this one. But if I could kind of come up with a way to... See, you can't, because if this assembly slid forward a little, and then I could maybe rotate this piece that's designed to fill in the leg around here, kind of to hold this in place just like that, I would have been happy with that. As it stands, this part, there's no way about it. It's not good the way that this is done. I'll slot this out and it'll work better, and once it's on a shelf it won't pop open. This one was so bad it was just popping open on its own when it was on display and not even being touched. So yeah, you're gonna see that flop around a lot. It's definitely a problem. I don't want to get too far in the articulation yet. I'll point out that he has this gun and it just kind of slots into the hand. The hand has no articulation. It looks like, I don't know where they took it from, because it looks like it should have articulation, but it doesn't. But that's okay. At a figure this scale, I could care less if it has articulation, to be completely honest. You know what? That's just Bumblebee's hand by the looks of it. Slightly modified, yeah, it's a resculpted Bumblebee's hand, because his looks like it has articulation there too. But I didn't want to go too far into the figure yet before I point out that I feel like this company thinks that they make the coolest figure in the world. Like, look at this. This is how it's packaged inside its cardboard box. it's got this, you know, display stand, and you pop it out and it's got all this nice detailing. Like you can see, it's quite designed to fit his feet there on like that diamond plating. Maybe you would put Cliffjumper around there. I don't know. It has this little stand here that has a variety of ways that it can just slot in. And you do have the tab on his back, so you can have him on the stand if you really wanted to. So that's cool. They had that. There's also in the instructions, there's like little things that go on his wrists that look like they should go here. I don't know if they just decided to scrap that or mine didn't come with them. But I don't have those pieces. So unfortunately, if that is something that came with them, I can't show you that. But it is nice that everything is inclusive in this stand, and that's why I think these parts here are designed to hold those extra bits I don't have. Yeah, so then you slide the figure out here, and like I said, this is a very sturdy plastic box, as if you're gonna put them on your shelf like that, but he's not really that good to warrant that. I wish they would have done lesser of a box and actually put a couple more dollars into this to improve it just a touch more, because I don't think it's far. I just think that there's a couple things that could have been improved. He also comes with this big cannon right there, which comes with the, does this move? I thought it moved. It looked like it moved, but no, it doesn't move, I don't believe. Yeah, it kind of looks like it wants to move, but I think it's just going to snap if I try to move the bipod here. But it's this huge glass gas cannon. I think it looks obnoxious on the figure. I don't remember it being that big in the cartoon. I could be wrong, it's been a while since I watched it, but he holds it like a champ. It will bring his arm down if you wiggle it around, but you know, I mean, it's a huge gun. He also comes with two other faces. The one you've all been screaming for. A red version of Bumblebee, kind of. You know, it looked more Bumblebee to me before, but now I'm seeing the Cliffjumper a little more. I don't know. I thought I liked the head that's on here the best, but I don't know. I might have to swap that one out the more I look at it. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. We'll see how that looks in a minute. And he also comes with this other head, and I feel like none of these heads really nail the Cliffjumper look to me, and this one is just, it's horrible. It's like Cliffjumper got like an 80s perm and it's huge on his head. I put this on the figure and he just looks ridiculous with it on there, in my opinion. Just, it's too big. Yeah, so he comes with 3 heads and I feel like none of them nail it, but the more I look at this one, the more I kind of like it. So I think we're going to swap that out and see how that looks. So let's talk articulation on this guy real quick. The head is on the swivel, as you saw, and if it's too tight, just go ahead and undo that screw just a little. You have the up and down, which is definitely on like a bar in here, but it doesn't have any good tension, so you know, it's not like you can't really pose it very much. I'm sure I can thicken it up by taking the head apart, but it's at least worth noting that it's kind of weak there. Maybe Ace Toys can fix that in later runs. The shoulders, just like MPB, you have the joint that goes up and down here, and then you have the ball joint on the shoulder. Then you have the swivel on the shoulder, just a single elbow, but you get a pretty good range of motion out of it. Coming down to the hands, I don't think you get anything on them. No, just a single cast piece. I will say these little panels do like to open quite a bit. Be very careful. Look what I just did. See this? I'm probably going to end up shaving these off because they are so skinny and they're made of non-pliable rubber. They just want to break off. So if one of them comes off, they're both getting carefully taken off. And it still might happen anyway, just because at some point they're definitely going to break off. The waist has a swivel. The legs, you can get good articulation out of them, but again the die cast is too heavy to hold it. The knee is double jointed, good range of motion out of that. I mean, minus this die cast there, I mean, it goes pretty much all the way up. You have this nice little flap to kind of cover this. Again, you saw what I would have preferred. And then you do have the actual rotation of the foot and the side to side. And this side to side is very, very loose. But given like kind of the nature of the die cast down here, I mean, it works. It's not the best, but by its weight, it's gonna go down. And like, see, like this thing just folded itself in, and like, doesn't that look just fine? Why does it need to be the MPB thing? Like, if this clipped in here somehow, this would be so much better. Just a couple more quick size comparisons. Here is a MP car, your standard size. Here's a Classics Bumblebee mold, just for comparison, which, you know, sometimes I think that you maybe could have done a good Cliffjumper by remolding that quite a bit. It's mainly to get the stuff off the arms, and you could probably pull off that fake lip they did here on there somehow. I don't know. And finally, here's the MP10, just for size comparison so you guys can see. I think he scales just fine for a mini bot. So let's try to get him to car mode without breaking these mirrors off, and let's see if the head will actually transform since it's been replaced. Like I said, I'm not 100% certain it will. Anyway, bring this piece up, and the head goes through, looking a little bit promising already. Fold this piece up and fold the back of the car out, making the rear end of the Porsche. Now, some people I know want the mini bots to actually be super deformed. I really don't know why Toy World hasn't made like a follow-up to their B and made the super deformed cars. Like, I really think that they should have, but I don't care. I prefer to have the realistic type car, but I understand that complaint. We're gonna open up the wrist here, fold this away, and I think I'm crushing one of those mirrors just by having my hand there. Yeah, they're definitely not gonna last. Fold this hand in and away. I think the biggest problem with this toy is that it's got a lot of like little like tolerance things that really could have been tweaked to really make this better. And this is where you're gonna see one of them really come into play here, because as we bring these panels around, see how they have this peg here? It needs to peg into here, which it's like, because of the paint, it's very tight, and I feel like, I don't know, I'm gonna have to do something with those pegs, probably shave the paint off, because I don't know how many transformations they have before they break. But once you have them, you just take these, fold them up and in, and there we go. That's how we've dealt with the hands, which had to be different for this version of the toy. Bring this down here and kind of get behind the hood here. It's very difficult to do because the hood is big, but it's the same deal as your MPB, where you have to bring this hood from here. And maybe I shouldn't have done, probably making this a little harder on myself. I should have done this a little earlier. Let's see, what do we have? Here's the handy dandy Hale Hasbro multi-tool. And we'll just try to get this out. Hopefully I don't have to backtrack a little. There we go. Good enough. If you didn't do the legs and stuff first, you probably could fold this back more. You see how it kind of clears it better. But you could have folded it back a little bit more and made your life just a smidge easier. So there we go. Bring the front of the car out. Alright, so coming down to the legs here, pretty easy. If your die-cast stuff hasn't kind of come apart already, take it all apart. Fold the wheels up just like you would MPB. We can take these and fold them flat, and also make sure that these flaps are folded down. So take that, fold it down, fold this. You can now, well, you can peg this. It's probably better not to. And then fold all of this stuff inwards as best you can. You can see it's the way the crotch is sitting in there. Now bring the legs forward here. And now we can start working on clipping everything together. Just like that. That'll let all this stuff kind of get around and clip in. Just like so. Just kind of clean up the back of the car there. And there we go. We've got Cliffjumper in his alt mode. A little bit panely. Some of this stuff could fit a little bit better, and it could be, I don't know if that's as a result of the head being in the way there, or if something else is just a smidge off. Let's try that. Maybe might be the way these hands are sitting in here, because they're supposed to go kind of into this back area like that. It's a little bit better. There we go. There he is in his alt mode. And you know, I mean, he looks real good. Yeah, he rolls mostly okay. I mean, it works. It's not the best rolling. It's not bad. I don't roll my cars around on the shelf, so I don't particularly care. But it looks good. I mean, it's definitely the Porsche it's intended to be. I do wish that they had done a little bit of paint work on the lights here. I'll probably go back and, you know, look at the real Porsche. And, yeah, see, like, this little panel here, and I'm sure it's a result of the way these hands are. It's not quite perfect on this one side. And that could be because of the head that's in there. I'm not entirely sure if that's affecting it. It might be affecting the ability for the car to sit flush, because I don't remember it ever kind of breaking apart like that on one side. But yeah, I'm going to go back and I'm going to paint these so it looks a little bit better, because the blue is dumb. And you know, like, look at this. Like, this is just about ready to fall off. That's pretty bad. But it looks good. Here is your Classics car. And so here he is next to exhaust. He's very small. He's not nearly the size that the car should be. But, you know, if you were okay with the X-Transbots cars, there's nothing wrong with this. The scale between these cars, this should be a little bit bigger than this still, but it's relatively close. And here he is next to Ratchet. So let's transform Cliffjumper back, and I just wanted to say I did mess around with the way I had the hands in here a little, and it's definitely the way the hands and the head are interacting that cause differences in this molding. I wouldn't worry too much about it. If you have the small head, like I said, I don't remember it being a problem at all with the slightly bigger head. I think just some adjusting of the hands and you'll be fine. But let's get this guy transformed back and let's get out of here. We've been doing this too long. We're going to go ahead, unfold the legs. We can go ahead, bring this down, bring these gray pieces back here up, and you can see the diecast will continue to fight you this whole time. Also, I didn't see any place to put the gun in the alt mode, which kind of stinks. It's not a very big gun. It would have been nice if it tabbed into the bottom somewhere. But anyway, there we go. This clips in just like that, and it'll probably come undone. If it does, just remember, it clips in. I'm not going to do it 600 times trying to make this guy stand or make all the panels not flop at all. There we go. And there's his feet. We'll come to the upper part of the robot. See, look, it opened up. Unclip this back panel, and I'm probably going to put a little bit of shock oil in these holes so it moves a little bit easier. Bring these down. You can see the MPB engineering there when you look at that. Bring the shoulders up. And actually, yeah, put them out like this. And this should make it easier now, especially with that head tab out of the way, to make that clear everything. Perfect. Let's bring that down, bring this down, take the back of the car, bring it, and fold the pieces of the car together. Clear Cliffjumper's head and this little flap. Bring this all the way down. And in. Do whatever makes you most comfortable with this flap. For me, like I said, I like to have it up a little to prevent the head from falling deeper inside there. And raise his shoulders. Take this. Come on, there's the hand, close that up. And the other hand. Close that up. Yeah, so there we go. There's our Cliffjumper back in his robot mode. And yeah, I mean, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen. Considering it took so much of the engineering from MP Bumblebee though, I wish things were a little more secure. Like this head should be better. The way that this holds together seems like it should be tighter. The way this backpack piece here doesn't really tab in anywhere. Like that could have been better. And the way this diecast stuff could have been better. Along with the arms being just longer, because they're just so short. Nobody's arms are that short. If they are, I'm really sorry for you. But I like it. I'm not sure. I think the KFC one or the X-Transbots one that's coming looks better. The back on that one is a hot mess, if you ask me. So I might be okay with calling this one my Cliffjumper, but there's definitely things that I think need some tightening to really make it, like, you know, a decent toy to a great toy. If you can get it for a decent price, which I suspect is probably going to be doable. I don't know exactly how well this guy is going to sell with the competition that's coming, especially when it's a quote-unquote more reputable name. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure how he'll do. You might be able to find him on a clearance sale at some point, and he might be worth checking out. I got him for a good price. I don't regret picking him up. Definitely a couple things that I would improve upon. Like, come on, Ace Toys. You could have made some kind of like telescoping arm gimmick here. That would have worked better and filled out these proportions a little bit nicer. We could have got some better clips, and, like, you know, just the number of things that have loose tolerances is not great. But it's not bad. I mean, it's not a bad Cliffjumper for the shelf. And that really stuck out to me when I put him next to this guy. So this is T2RX6. I hope you guys enjoyed the review, and I'll see you next time.